What is up, and welcome to Twin Dragon Podcast Show. We're your hosts. My name is Mike.
And I'm Bobby. The show will be about two young working professionals going through the craziness of life. We'll have fun conversations about current events and what's happening in our lives. So why do you want to know more?
Well, if you're bored at home, eating, or just chilling, and want to listen to something new, you've come to the right place.
Welcome back to the Twin Dragon Podcast. I'm your host, Bobby.
And I'm Mike.
And so today we have a season finale episode. So we kind of thought about like how should we end the season, and I think a reflection will be the very best that we can do. I think in regards to how we first started and where we're at right now, I think it's been quite a journey. Would you say so, Mike?
Yeah, I think it has been a journey since we started this. We got this idea probably around winter of last year, probably around December. We were in the works of talking about it, and then we didn't actually do anything. We did a little bit during winter break because I had a little break during my training, and then we didn't do much until later on this year. But it has been a journey, I would say. Yeah, it's been like 9 months or so ish so far. And yeah, we just wanted to give you guys sort of I guess like an insider's peek or insider head of just like what's going on with our podcast or YouTube channel, and also sort of like where we're going to take it. So, initially we thought it was just going to be like a podcast, just doing, what was it? Our original idea was going to us sort of like having a conversation about different topics in the world, basically, or like hot topics,
like health, business,
Bitcoin, cybersecurity, whatever, hot takes on these like hot topics. And so that fizzled down, because why'd you think, why would it fizzle? Well, I'll let you explain why it fizzled.
Yeah, well, I think it fizzled because that's not what we really enjoy talking about most of all.
Mm-hmm.
I think we both of us really enjoy just talking about like what we watched or what we are experiencing, or what we learned. It's never really something that that can make us, I guess, healthier or richer. It's just like those moments. I think it can just kind of tell like what our demographic is, what kind of demographic we're part of as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if you think about it, like if someone who is like in finance and can talk about financing, they must be really passionate about it, and obviously they love doing it, and that's their whole entire life. But that's not our entire life.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think me and you have kind of discovered, what we both enjoy doing.
Yeah, and also I think we wanted it to be content that was helpful or interesting for people. I think that's why we sort of went that route initially. But like you said, yeah, it's like people who wrote a career or are super invested or very passionate about it. And for us, that wasn't sort of like, I guess, our passion. And it required a lot of research, at least on my part, to sort of like
Yeah.
look up things that was helpful and just sort of digest it and then like present it in a way that's like conversational to you guys and also to Bobby, because he would be like asking the questions, and then I do the research, and it felt like the first couple of episodes it felt like I was doing like a homework assignment or something, or like a research paper and presenting it to class or something, and that was not something like you kind of mentioned that we wanted to do, because we wanted it to be enjoyable for us too, because this is a long-term thing, like hence 9 months so far. So it's been chugging along, and then after that we decided to do what we called a pivot, basketball pivot, business pivot, etc. So it's basically the same thing. And kind of like what you already mentioned, we shifted gears towards like things about what we watch, like things what we like to do and we enjoy doing, and just adding sort of like the extra of, hey, let's talk about this and let's share with people and see that where that goes. Like, wouldn't you say that was sort of our direction?
Yeah, it did, and it worked out, I think, because we can have a lot more conversations to that. Because I think for one, the Luca episode or just even the Brian episode, we're able to like talk about it so much more. We can go continue the conversation. Obviously, we have a certain time limit with certain things because we're both busy, and so are other people that we interview. Um, and like even for like the WandaVision one, we can go even further because like I think a lot of people can even relate to mental health, breakup, death, and people telling you who you are, and and that's not true, and so yeah, like even now, I find it way much enjoyable, because we can dissect certain things that we view or done and make it applicable for not just us, but just like other people that they can relate to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I still feel like it's like a skill to sort of talk about something for a while. I'm more of a to the point kind of guy, but
Where do you think you're at right now then?
for what?
That skill talk about things for a long time.
I don't know. It just depends on the topic. Obviously, if it's something like really passionate about, like video games, I can go on and on about it, or like, yeah, stuff like that. Certain topics are a little harder, especially sometimes we record things and it's been a while since we actually like watched it or done it. And, we need some refreshers to, I need
Yeah.
refreshers to sort of remember what exactly happened and sort of like what is the substance that we're going to be talking about essentially. Um, yeah. And I think it's been going good. Definitely a lot of new things learning, like I mentioned about the talking about something for a while. Like, that's not something I do, but I'm sure you learned a lot of new skills and things, right, during these last 9 months.
A lot of it had to do with like technology and computer stuff. And yeah, I think, yeah, most of it was that mostly for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm comfortable talking about certain topics for extended period of time. Um, but technology wise, man, it has made me, I think I just need more patience. That's what I just noticed. I just need more patience.
Mm. So you hear that, guys? When you start something, you can learn new skills and new things about yourself.
Yeah.
So it's a growing process, just as you're growing the business. Um, yeah, I think for me, like even like the talking thing is one thing, but also just communicating with you about like sort of what exactly are we doing and being clear about our roles and sort of what the goals are, as
Yeah.
well as sort of what are the things we value or stand for, and what are the things that we are moving towards, because sort of having like this sort of vision of what exactly we're trying to make or build here. I think that was interesting, as well as just like learning to see you um, network with different social media people to get those interviews.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's some pulling strings there.
Yeah. I was pretty amazed by that, having that interview with Brian. I think that humbled me. Or just it also just surprised me. I'm just like
Mm-hmm.
curious of like what else we could be capable of in the future.
Mm-hmm.
I know I haven't reached out to a lot of people, but I think he just knew that I was someone who I followed for a while and
Mm-hmm.
maybe just gave us a chance. And yeah, I think yeah, we talked about this earlier too, about yeah, the goals. I think that's something that, people in, you know, I guess in the work slash company setting, you have to communicate to that because one person probably has one vision, the other person has another vision, sometimes, I think of it as like, because we're both hosts, we both have equal part in this. and we all
Mhm.
have different roles, but I guess sometimes it's not clear on your part, most of the time.
Yeah, you're the creative content guy. You know, you come up with the decisions, the things, and what exactly we're striving for is you know, kind of like the logistic kind of guy, technical minus the technology part guy. And yeah, it's interesting to see sort of how it's sort of evolved over the course of these 9 months, and it's probably still continuing to evolve because um you know, as we wrap up this season, we learned a lot of new things. You know, as you guys can see, we're uh, testing the waters for like video content with the interviews, but the predominant um, way that we've been doing it right now is through audio, and there's like a large learning curve that Bobby could attest to you know, adding another sort of form of communication with visual stuff.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's something, we kind of learn. I think I wish I had more time in terms of like producing better content in terms of like video or effects. I don't know, because we do have After Effects, and we do have Premiere Pro. We have iMovie. We have the works, but it's just
Mm.
time that we just don't have that we can put into it. Um,
And that's for like the editing and making it look good and
yeah,
production quality.
yeah, and I think just even just the terms of like learning when to say no. I think obviously we've recorded things more than once, and we trashed it and we had to re-record it again.
Hmm.
For instance, this episode, um, and it's hard having to do things over again. Um, but I think it just comes to learn that we need to always test things, and um, yeah, just be patient. Like there was an episode that we did that was about our fears, and never been released because it was so bad.
It was bad. Wah, wah, wah. You guys
Yeah.
will never know our fears.
Yeah. I mean, like bad in the sense that we weren't motivated to talk in that episode. So I was like, I'm not gonna put that out. It's like I don't think it's good. Or
Mm.
if we weren't giving it all our all. And so like I think that was something I'm learning to do, is like don't just bull anything, give it all you can, and don't give people just the pieces, but give it all.
Right, because people can see that, and you know, they can see where there's quality and where there isn't quality. And you know, the audience, you know, we want to, you know, respect you guys and give you guys things that we can uh, produce that's, you know, decent quality and are the best to our capabilities and restraints or time limitations that we have now. So yeah, that's sort of like, you know, a nod to you guys. And yeah, we're excited to learn a lot of the things that we did these 9 months, and hopefully, you know, make some changes going forward from what we learned. Which are what, Bobby? Let's let them hear it.
So yeah, we're actually planning a season two, and of course we're going to continue the podcast. But a lot of it is also incorporating more visuals, like videos of us
Mm.
in it. So one of them is doing a fitness journey of me. So it's a video like a vlog diary. Um, and then
Look for that, guys. You get to see the amazing Bobby.
yeah, and I don't like being recorded a lot, or nor like taking pictures of myself. As you know, Mike, right? You never see me take a picture of myself. It's me like
Yeah,
taking pictures of other people
yeah,
or
or
things
food.
or food. Yeah, it's never me, right?
Yeah, but you know, this is the path to stardom.
um, but yeah, and then we're gonna be recording our travels.
Mm.
We recently took a trip. I'm not gonna expose that yet. um, and then a lot of different visual views, either from movies, food, um, and yeah, hopefully we have some bigger news later in the year too.
Mm. Yeah, so we're gonna like do some reviews for like, yeah, like you said, food and movies or shows that we watch. So kind of like what we're doing now, but more like we'll just like throw in some like visuals too to like for you guys to actually see us. But yeah, we like you said, we just recently took a trip. And so that's gonna be in the works for season two. And yeah, it was even with that, just like working out season two, there's a lot of sort of um like I mentioned earlier about goals, like expectation, like who's doing what is it going to look like, what are we trying to aim for, and how we're going to like make it. Like even that was like you said, it was like a trial run, and like just figuring out what works and what doesn't work. A lot of trial and error, guys.
Yeah, like even during our trip together, that was still a trial run, and there were things that worked and some things that didn't work, and it's kind of like what Mike mentioned, um, do that, I know that I can handle so much, but then like at the same time, like through any business, you need people there to work with you, to bounce ideas with, and and Mike is the person for me that I bounce my ideas off of, and he kind of gives the realistic expectations and helps me plan things, um, and just like input as well, or just like small things, like and when the trip we took a tour somewhere and I was really intrigued, and so I know that I wouldn't be able to like really pay attention and record, and so it was nice that Mike was there to help me record. Um, yeah.
I'm the camera footage man
So
in
yeah,
that instance.
and so like I think just in terms of like travel and stuff, they are going to be voiceovers because we are also trying to like enjoy ourselves. Um, and so yeah, I think the only thing that probably be more interactive was probably like the vlogs with me or food reviews slash movies that we'll probably be
Mm-hmm.
doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, again, like we don't want it to like for us to be unenjoyable. I know that we see other people and YouTube, they do this flawlessly. I don't know how flawlessly, but it looks flawless.
Mm-hmm.
And but at the same time, if I were to try that, it's a lot of work, and we have so little time.
And also they're obviously doing this for like full
Years.
time and years, and so they have experience. And for us, like that's just not feasible right now. Like
Mm.
we don't have that kind of skill level yet. Hopefully, maybe in the future as we do it more, we don't have that time because I don't think we're gonna be like transitioning to this like full time anytime soon. Nor do we, I think, really want to at this point. Like want this to be sort of like our full time job. At least at this point, definitely
Yeah.
not for me because I got more training to do besides, and yeah, and so yeah, and so I think those are kind of the big points, sort of like what season two is. I'm sure a lot of things are going to change, as as I mentioned before. There's a lot of trial and error. Like what we say now is kind of what we are thinking about, but who knows? Like maybe during the middle season, we might again do another pivot because business is always in motion. Nothing's like really static. Things come and go. Things change. Stuff happens. But I think another thing that we forgot to mention is like in season two, we'd have again continue to do those kind of interviews things, like reaching out to people and touching base with them and seeing if they'll be interested and have the time to just come on our show and listen to them and share their wisdom, and us getting to know them and see what it's like to be where they're at or get to know them more essentially.
Yeah, and I think some of the things that we're trying to do, I think to kind of help people understand, um, well, I don't know if Mike understood, I guess kind of like the
No.
context of like when we talk about certain things, we're trying to give perspective between Mike and I, because Mike grew up a certain way and I grew up a certain way. And then when we interview people, I think it's a good way for us to kind of learn from them, like from Brian and then Sonia. Those are two different professions that they're doing, and
Mm-hmm.
we have no idea what that looks like for us, or and so that's why we ask those kind of questions and
Mm.
scenarios, and so we're getting to know them, but also getting to learn in a way, and I think that's what we're trying to do with these next interviews. Like we have a geologist lined up as well, some more artists as well. Um, can't remember anybody else, but yeah. Yeah, that's the ideas of these interviews that we're learning, but also getting to know these people.
Thanks for explaining.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah,
how I explain the podcast to other people. It's like, yeah, we give these different perspectives and stuff like that. People like it.
hopefully. Tell your
Yeah.
friends to like it.
Tell
Like and
your
subscribe
moms.
on.
Tell your moms.
It's friendly, family friendly.
Very family friendly.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's helpful sort of just to see sort of like the overview of our interviews, but also our plans. And I think that's pretty much what we have laid out for season 2 at this point. Um, it's kind of also contingent on sort of our schedules, because our careers are also in motion right now with different things happening. So yeah, just bear with us as there obviously things take time and production time, et cetera, but also our own schedules. But yeah, we're excited to go on this journey with you guys. Hopefully you guys are interested. And yeah, anything else you want to let the audience know?
Yeah, I think kind of like what you had mentioned about will we do it full time? I think for me, I'm not too sure either because it's like I like to bake, but I wouldn't like baking for work. Like I like to do it on occasion and special occasions. I like to like make kind of like what I did for your birthday. I made ramen and like I cannot do that every day and
Mm,
sell it, but then it'll be like, oh, ramen again. um, you know, um, but yeah, it's like a separate thing, a hobby for now. I don't know what it would look like if it was full time. It'd probably be way harder and stressful. That's for sure.
hmm Yeah, I don't think. Well, I don't know. Like, obviously, for me, I I'm not like gung ho or as I think you mentioned this earlier, like 100% like in. I'm more kind of like, oh, let's test the waters, like see where this goes, and like yeah, like a hobby, and also curious to know like get a sense of like how people in this like field do it, um, because like it is something different than what I'm used to, and um, that creative aspect too, and yeah, I'm just kind of like on this ride with you just to see like where can this go, and what does it look like, and curious to see like the outcome and such. Also at the same time, like learning a lot of different new things like marketing and like social media and networking, et cetera, like those kind of things.
Yeah. So what was it like, or what do you think when we interviewed Brian? I think Brian is a good example of like someone like who is pretty successful on YouTube, and we had the opportunity to like interview him. Like, what did you think about that?
I think it was more of just like a normal interview with a guy who was interested in arts,
Yeah.
who happened to be in Utah and was willing and kind enough to offer his time to speak with us and also share some insights about like how he got started, and also um sort of like how he did things, and yeah, just like learning from him about like how he got started and his advice. I actually didn't feel like it was like, oh my gosh, this is like a social media pop star kind of feeling. It was more of just a friendly conversation with somebody else who had more experience than us and was good at what he did.
Okay. Yeah, because like for me, it was that experience, like someone who I've seen on YouTube and who's been pretty successful, and so I was like, in a way, starstruck. Um, yeah, I just bring up the examples, like, yeah, I just can't imagine what we would run into in that kind of way.
Yeah, I was also surprised about sort of the interview with Sonia. Um, Again, I don't know anybody who's like a personal trainer. I've never been to a personal trainer before. I usually just work out by myself, figure things out online by myself, read different things. So that was also interesting to see like a personal trainer and also them trying to make their own business from it, as well as sort of like what we're doing. And also not just for her own business, but also like her own social media presence as well, like what we're doing.
Yeah, and it's interesting as well because like she gave a lot of truths of like, yeah, you have all this knowledge and you have this certificate, but there's so much more to it than exercising, you know? Like
Mm-hmm.
she explained, you know, there is that marketing aspect and then keeping up with people. Um, so I guess in a way there is a personality that you got to have.
A business personality, or you
Yeah.
make one up as you
Yeah.
go, because it's not just all just about skill. It's about like, again, yeah, networking. Does your clients, do they want to go to you for um, advice, help, and do they see you as somebody who can offer that what they want, basically,
Mhm.
and it's worth their time and money.
Yeah. And I think there's also um a lot of things we've also been learning is like the resources. Um, like from how we made the logo, you know, we use Canva. Um, Canva sponsor us. That's how we made our logo.
Mm-hmm.
um, to Buzzsprout, you know, we use Buzzsprout to display, you know, different, um, or I guess the audio to different, I guess, podcast networks.
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, and then we do YouTube. I think YouTube is like somewhere I think it's my go to where I want it to be a certain place because I feel like that's somewhere that's more um, I can visually keep track of.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think it's a better opportunity in a way. And that's like kind of my understanding of where I want to be at. And then just also like I think the topic of like YouTube personality, I'm not too sure if I have a YouTube personality or will I ever get one. I think this is me, and when I'm recorded, I do act shy because I'm not used to being recorded. So hopefully, I do get better at that.
This is me. No, that
Where's
song,
that from?
I forgot. Somebody sang it. I don't know what that word is from. It just came into my mind. I don't know who sings it. I don't know what the title is, but
Was
that
that a
was
Zac Efron song?
no, I think it's actually a female who sings it.
Oh, it's a Christian song. Yes.
Really? I don't remember. Um, yeah, I can't imagine learning all that stuff, like the software stuff. It's just like a lot. So props to you for figuring out and doing it. And yeah, it is quite impressive. And I don't know, I think like for me, like just getting sort of like the financial understanding of like how this stuff works, and yeah, like getting a sense of like that marketing that you do, and like the sort of that component is very interesting to me. Sort of how, why is it that some things are become popular, or what is it that drives popularity on certain things, and how did it become that? It's quite interesting, and I'm curious to see what that looks like for us. And I can assure you guys, I highly doubt I will have a social media personality. It's just like you showed me one, like one of those YouTubers have like what is that, the traveling people, they're like, the
Wait, you
girl is
me?
like yeah, like the girl is like super excited, asks a lot of questions or says a lot of things, and then there are bloopers or whatever, it's like she's like just
Yeah.
normal. Yeah, and it's like, wow, how does she like keep up with that for, I don't know,
24
20,
hours.
30? Yeah, I don't think it's 20, but like all those like footages that they do, I'm sure it's like hours at least for them to um record and prepare and do. I doubt they get everything like on one shot and that's it. Like he even like sets the camera at certain places just to like get that footage in from that point of view.
Like he
That's
has to go ahead of the trail, place it, then go back where she's at, and then they get the shot, and then he has to go back and get the camera.
yeah, I know. That's just
I would
like
not be able to do that.
that's just like next level. Like no.
Next level commitment.
Yeah, very impressive, very admirable. But I mean, that's why their content is really, good, like good quality stuff, like good shots, et cetera, interesting points of view, professional. They do it full time. I mean, yeah, so
It's
it's
their
it's
income.
it's in the works, it's put it in. But yeah. So that's kind of like our journey. I'm imagining we're gonna do another one of these summary introspective reflections at the end of season 2, and I don't even know where in season 2 is going to be ending, but probably
Me
yeah
neither.
probably when I go to my next phase of training, when we like move, right? We're
I
probably
think
gonna
so too.
although yeah.
But yeah, yeah, your training is gonna it's a whole new chapter for you.
So one I look forward to. I'm kind of done with New York. If you guys like, listen to the New York episode, you should listen to the New York episode if you haven't. I'm kind of on the way out.
Yeah, I think I think that's something that is helpful too, because like you're giving them perspective of like I guess a reality of like New York. I guess like something that I found on YouTube was like this girl like really fantasized about New York. She got there and she moved there, and she says like oh why is New York so dirty? But then like in her head she's like she also like found realities that it's hard to make friends as well. But then she's like saying to herself like you're living the dream of living in New York and doubt but not saying like what is actually the truth of what's happening in your life. Like New York is not what some people expect it to be, and that I guess in a way she's lonely.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be like in the crowd, like where a lot of things are happening with people just go to bars, rooftop bars, clubs, etc., restaurants, get-togethers, and just like I don't know, that's kind of like where the people or the exciting thing is, and seeing the lights and expensive stuff, opportunity. But when you look a little deeper, in my opinion, like yeah, it is dirty. It is hard to make friends. A lot of people are busy, they're trying to go places, they're trying to climb the corporate ladder, et cetera, move up, make money, etc., build connections.
Funny.
It's like yeah, it's that kind of environment, in my opinion. But yeah, so that's kind of what season 1 and these 9 months have been, and sort of our internal thoughts given to you guys in this podcast show. Hopefully, you guys, I guess, get a sense of like what it is to kind of start a podcast or YouTube. We mentioned some, resources we use, what we learned, where we're taking with this, where we're going with this, and expectations and actuality. Can probably even title this as like, what is it like to make a podcast or YouTube from scratch?
That's really
In
smart.
case
How
it,
to?
yeah, in case you guys are interested or wondering, because it is a lot of work, and for us right now, this first season, we didn't go from like 0 to 100 like, oh man, like doing like amazing like stuff, super popular now. Like no, that's not the case, and we're just chugging along, doing things our way and at our own pace. And so yeah, some people don't want that, want to be like insta popular, some people want to go for that. Maybe they have a different take on it. So but this is kind of our take, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully you found it helpful, and we'll see you guys in season 2.
Yeah, and it's defining to just close. There will be a trailer for season 2, and that's my last plug. And I'll see you later, guys.
Thanks again.
Thank you again, guys, for listening to the Twin Dragons podcast. If you guys want to know more about a topic or want us to do a specific video, let us know in the comments below.
And please like and subscribe if you want to help support us. Keep a lookout on our social media accounts so that you can keep up to date with any new episodes that come out and get connected. And we'll catch you guys in the next episode.